हरे कृष्णा। आशा करती हूँ आप सबको उड़ीसा का स्पेशल ये ओडिसी डांस जो भगवान जगन्नाथ के लिए समर्पित है आपको पसंद आया होगा। अभी कांजूर कांग्रेगेशन के धन्यवाद। कांजूर कांग्रेगेशन के ये बच्चों को मैं थोड़ा पहचान करवाना चाहूँगी। इनका नाम है नंदिनी, ये है गोपी, अनिशा, विशाखा और तुलसी। इन्होंने स्कूल के टाइम से बहुत मुश्किल से टाइम निकाल के 2 डांस को क्लब अप करके आज के ये खास दिन के लिए प्रस्तुति किए थे, तो उनको मैं भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगी क्योंकि बहुत ही शॉर्ट नोटिस पे वो हमारे साथ जुड़े और आज के ये कार्यक्रम में परफॉर्मेंस देने के लिए हमारे साथ दिए। धन्यवाद। हरि बोल।
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 5, entitled Cause of All Causes, text number 12. Tasmai namo bhagavate Vasudevaya dhimahi Yanmayaya durjayaya Mam vadanti jagadgurum. Tasmai namo bhagavate Vasudevaya dhimahi Yanmayaya durjayaya Mam vadanti jagadgurum. Tasmai namo bhagavate Vasudevaya dhimahi Yanmayaya durjayaya Mam vadanti jagadgurum. Nambadanti Jagadguru. Tasmai namo bhagavate Vasudevaya dhimahi Yanmayaya durjaya Nambadanti Jagadguru. Tasmai namo bhagavate Vasudevaya dhimahi Yanmayaya durjaya Nambadanti Jagadguru. Mataji. Word-to-word meaning. Tasmai, unto him. Namaha, offer my obeisances. Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead. Vasudevaya, unto Lord Krishna. Dhimahi, do meditate upon him. Yat, by whose? Mayaya, potencies. Durjayaya, invincible. Mam, unto me. Vadanti, they say. Jagat, the world. Gurum, the master. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the Supreme Controller. Purport. As will be more clearly explained in the next verse, the illusory potency of the Lord bewilders the less intelligent to accept Brahmaji, or for that matter, any other person, as the Supreme Lord. Brahmaji, however, refuses to be called this, and he directly offers his respectful obeisances unto Lord Vasudeva, or Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, as he has already offered the same respects to him in the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. The Supreme Lord is the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord in his transcendental body, the ultimate cause of all causes. I worship that primeval Lord, Govinda. Brahmaji is conscious of his actual position, and he knows how less intelligent persons, bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord, whimsically accept anyone and everyone as God. A responsible personality like Brahmaji refuses to be addressed as the Supreme Lord by his disciples or subordinates. But foolish persons praised by men of the nature of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses feel flattered to be addressed as the Supreme Lord. Why such persons take pleasure in being addressed as God, or why such persons are addressed as God by foolish admirers, is explained in the following verse. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadandigam. Vandeham Sri Guruho Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Dev Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinam. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanta Namo Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwar Vrishabhanu Suteli Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Patitanam Pavane Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Bhasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. A hearty welcome to all of you for prioritizing your Sunday morning to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. So many people have so many priorities, especially on a Sunday, after the whole 6 working days. Generally people would either like to just go to sleep or do something that they feel would nourish them, enliven them, inspire them, energize them for the rest of the week. Some entertain their minds by so many activities. Some entertain their intelligence through other types of activities. But truly, those who are aware, those who are fortunate, prioritize that particular day, one day in that week, especially to begin with, by connecting to the cause of all causes. That's the title of this chapter. Cause of all causes means the cause of all energy, cause of all inspiration. And that's what truly Srimad Bhagavatam is all about. Satyam Param Dhimahi. It speaks about the absolute truth. In this chapter, almost to the beginning of creation, Narada approaches his father, Brahma, the supreme personality in this universe, and asks him, actually I see just by your thinking, you're creating this whole people, things in this universe. Are you the ultimate supreme Lord? Or is there someone beyond you? Why do I get this doubt? Because I see that you are in meditation. So if you are in meditation, that means, are you meditating on some other source of energy? So this is a very intelligent question, very sharp and shrewd observation. Not foolish, not less intelligent, not dull-headed, who just, whatever they see, just accept. Why? Because everyone is doing it, therefore I'm doing it. He's very thoughtful. Of course, he knows what is what. He's a realized soul, Narada. But just as Arjuna is put into bewilderment so that the whole world can hear the Gita, Parikshit Maharaj is put in a particular situation so that the Bhagavatam can be spoken. Similarly, Naradji is asking this question on our behalf. Not to foolishly, without deep introspection, accept anyone and everyone as God. In fact, first of all, we have to know the definition of God. God means controller. Actually, all of us are God in that sense. Some things we control, hopefully. Your bladder you can control up till some time. After that, it is beyond your control. So some controller ability is there. But then, who is the controller of all controllers, who has no other person who is controlling? Who is the cause of all causes, who has no other cause? Actually, every thoughtful individual, sometime or other in their life, have thought about this, if they are free from social media for some time. Unfortunately, there is no time. They're so absorbed and engaging their whole energy, consciousness in simply in a dull way, being fed, and just like a dull person just accepting rather than proactively thinking about what's happening around them. In this way, actually people become so controlled. Whatever is fed to them, they just like slaves. No thinking other than just, narrowed down like a horse which has put these blinders. But anyone worth the salt, as they say, must have given this thought. I remember when I was a child, in Orissa, I felt very homely. I was in Orissa for first 12 years. And used to hear about Jagannath. But I thought he is Oriya God. Till I, by the mercy of the parampara, came to know who is Jagannath, Jagat ke Nath. So we would sleep on the terrace in the summer. Then I would look in the sky and think, actually, okay, I'm in the room is in the house is in this area, this is on the planet Earth, the Earth is in the sky. Somewhere the sky must end. And what's beyond it? And 2-3 times I asked someone, but they looked at me as if, "Sab theek hai na tera?" So out of fear of being ridiculed for asking crazy questions, I stopped asking. So it's so unfortunate that anyone who is asking some intelligent questions is snubbed, thinking that ये सब पूछने की बात है क्या? पूछने का नहीं, बस जैसा है रहने, चलते रहो. There was an eagle's egg that dropped amongst the chicken eggs or hen eggs. And the hen thought, this is one of my eggs. So it warmed it and eventually it burst out and the eagle came out. It was a little eagle. But that eagle looked around and all were hen. And the nature of the hen is tuk 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 tuk. That's all. They just keep looking down and keep picking up something. So the eagle was also doing that. And just picking up, some grains from the... It never looked up because no one looked up. But then one day, somehow it so happened that it maybe because of constantly looking down, had some neck sprain or something, so kind of looked up. And when he looked up, actually a sage came. And he saw the pitiable condition of this eagle. अरे तू क्या है और कहाँ आ गया है? He held its neck and turned it up. And the eagle, first time it looked up and saw the eagles royally gliding in the sky, soaring high in the sky. And he said, ये तो मेरे जैसा लगता है ये लोग. Yeah, Sambandh Gyan. And then the sage said, you can also do it, Abhideya. He said, really? Because the chicken would sometimes jump and come. Just jump and go a little bit distance. So he would also do the same thing. But this time he kind of flapped and he went higher and higher and higher. And he started soaring in the sky himself. So similarly, Amritasya Putraha, human form of life, is not meant to be lived like other species. It's meant to question, but question in a right way to the right people. And here, Narada has gone to Lord Brahma, his father, and not just his father, but his guru. Who's the guru? One who knows things as they are and not as people think it to be. And therefore he approached and he asked. He said, are you the source of everything, cause of all causes, or is there a cause behind you? And because Brahmaji, this is very interesting. What is Brahma saying? He's saying, I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences the less intelligent class of men to call me the supreme controller. Today, people want to surrender their life, their everything to anyone who can supply what they want. And just salute them. That's all. I don't want to go further. My need is fulfilled. My wants are fulfilled. So whoever fulfills that want, ठीक है, उसके पीछे सोचने की क्या बात? So most of the, Prabhupada tells the story of once a simple villager decided that I want to serve the highest person. So he went to the sarpanch, or the main person in the village, and he said, I want to serve you. Who doesn't want a servant? Ajao. And he was serving him very nicely, and I saw that every month he takes his bag and goes somewhere. He said, where are you going? He said, I have to pay all these taxes that I collect to my authority. Oh, you have authority? You're a servant. I am a servant. There is my master. Oh. Then he went to the nearby city and then saw the mayor. And he said to the mayor, I want to serve you. The mayor was very happy. Come. Sincerely served him. And then he saw that somebody was coming every month to collect, taxes from him. He said, who is this person? He said, he is the governor's representative. I said, oh, so you are not the highest governor? Yeah, the governor. So he went to the governor. So he said, I want to serve the governor. The mayor appreciated and he wrote a recommendation letter. Acha aadmi hai, pramanik hai. So he went there, started serving the governor. Even in the governor's place, one time on the horseback, somebody came to collect all his taxes and go. I said, who is this? He's a representative of the king of the whole country. So, oh, really? So he's the highest? Yes, I am his servant. So he went to the king. And he was serving the king. And one day, the king said, keep my chariot ready. Today I am going to meet a great personality. So he followed him. And he fell at the feet of this great personality who was a sage, very saintly person. And sitting at the feet of that saintly person, the king was hearing with folded hands. He said, so this person is greater than you? He said, yes, I'm just hearing from him. Now he didn't want to waste his time. Directly went to the sage, Baba, tu pehle bata, tere se bada koi hai kya? I don't want to waste my time serving every year, going here to there. So directly, at least he asked the right person the right question. He said, I want to serve the greatest person. Can you please tell me, who's the greatest? The sage looked at this simple, humble village man, ignorant person. I said, you do one thing. Out there is a huge temple of the Supreme Lord. You go to that temple. In the temple, that was a temple of Vishnu, great Supreme Lord. He said, you go there. So he went. By the time it was evening and the gates were closed, he was knocking at the door. So the priest shouted from behind, oh, it's closed now, come tomorrow morning. And intensely praying, he went to sleep right there at the gate. Early morning, some Brahmanas came and they saw that the chadar of the Supreme Lord, which he wears, was on this person. And he was lying. It was cold and he was lying. And this chadar of the Supreme Lord, the deities, were on him. So they said, he's a thief. So they started beating him up. And he woke up, I said, where did you get this? I don't know, I was sleeping. And then they saw actually the gate was locked. Then they realized the Lord himself had blessed him. Therefore they called him and trained him and he started serving the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada tells this story because he was inquisitive. I want to know who is the cause of all causes, who has no other cause. The hen or the egg? There's a question he asked. Which came first, the hen or the egg? No, both came from the Lord. And he didn't manifest from some egg. So, it is described, he is offering respects to the Lord whose illusory energy hypnotizes practically people to not ask this question. And they are just happy. Whoever supplies their immediate wants, they are happy serving them. That's it. Not realizing that as they are going to die, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam, even those personalities whom they are serving, they are also a helpless victim of these three modes of nature. And therefore, anyone who asks this question, he said, Prabhupada another time says, there are two kinds of illusion. If a person is an illusion, it manifests in two ways. What is that? To think the Supreme Lord as an ordinary person, or to think of an ordinary person who does something little bit extraordinary to be the supreme cause of all causes. This is the sign of Maya. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavajananto mababhuta maheshwaram. Avajananti, they deride, they minimize the Supreme Lord when He descends in this world, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. When He comes, Lord Ram, Sri Krishna, to think, oh, he's an ordinary person, but he's doing wonderful things. Or to think of an ordinary person who does something, magical tricks, or some mystical yogi who can create something from nowhere, to be, wow, surrender to him. Till a person has seen the noonday sun, in darkness, even the glowworm, Jugnu, people surrender to that Jugnu. And actually the glowworm also thinks, he just does that and light comes. And he starts thinking, I am the lighting the whole universe. Yeah, he is lighting his universe. Maybe 6 inches diameter. Pew, pew. That's all. But once the sun arises, we were at Vada one time, and we went for a walk after dinner. At that time, Vada was completely, not the way it is now. It was just a 5-acre farm, no electricity properly. So the whole thing was pitch dark. And suddenly, like a Christmas tree during December, right in the middle, the tree was glowing. And when you look at me, I was thinking, how is it? And then we saw all this, literally millions of glowworms on that tree. So it was like, pew, pew, pew. It's coming up and going down. And he went there and, and we wanted to take a photograph, but it didn't come through a mobile. It took a photograph, but it was looking great. But next day when the sun arose, even if the glowworm is full glow, even if you focus, you can't see. So similarly, till a person, Krishna Surya Sama Maya hai andhakar, jahan Krishna taha nahi Maya radhikar. Krishna is like the sun and Maya is like darkness. As long as you are not aware of the science of cause of all causes, we can be easily attracted by the glowworms of this world. Some bigger glowworms, some smaller glowworms. Can you imagine who's Brahma? The creator of this universe. No scientist today has been able to still find out the end of this universe. And still, they think that they know everything. And here is Lord Brahma, the creator. He just thinks and things happen. And Narada is asking him as a son and as a disciple. And then, very beautifully, Brahma is answering. It's just like a gardener. He calls himself a gardener. Imagine, you go on a some new place, some seashore, and suddenly you see a big mansion, and there's a beautiful garden, and a person is watering all the plants there. Beautiful, all very organized garden, beautiful garden, so many flowers, and he is watering, and there is no one else in the whole place, only one person. Naturally, you are inclined to believe that he is the owner, he has created this garden. So you go and ask him, did you create this whole thing? He laughs, he said, मैं तो माली हूं, मेरा काम है पानी डालना बस. पता नहीं क्या होता है, सिर्फ पानी डालता हूं रात को तो सुबह खिलता है फूल. The owner owns this place. He gave me the seeds. He gave me the blueprint, which seed should go where. He gave me the whole picture, how the ultimate garden should look, how the flowers and how all the trees and how the plants should be planted. And he gave me the blueprint of the end product. He gave me the seeds and he said, you do one thing, बस इसको सिर्फ जमीन में डाल और उधर नल है, पानी डाल, बस और कुछ मत करना. He put the seeds exactly as directed and he put water. And wow, so many wonderful, even he doesn't know what colors will manifest, what kind of trees and plants will manifest. That is Brahma. Brahma himself says in the Brahma Samhita, Bhasvan yathashma shakaleshu nijeshu teja swiyam kiyat prakatayadyapi tadvadatra brahmaya esha jagadanda vidhana karta govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Brahmaji is giving who am I? He is giving an understanding of who is Brahma. In Brahma Samhita, who can give his identity better than himself? And he is telling, Bhaswan. Bhaswan means the sun. Yatha, just like the sun. Ashma. Ashma means stone. Ashma shakaleshu. There are so many precious stones which give so much light. But on their own in darkness, these jewels, all these kind of precious stones, can't give out light themselves. So, Bhaswan yatha ashma shakaleshu nijeshu tejaha swiyam kiyat prakatayati. To the extent, depending on the type of that precious stone, it takes the sunlight and diffuses it in so many other colors. And people are attracted to the diamond, thinking, wow, it is self-illuminating. No! Because of its structure, it's taking the light of the sun and illuminating it. This is Brahma telling, I am like that stone. I am empowered by the Lord's creative energy. Actually, we are also, as human beings, empowered. A man and a woman come together and they create a child. Can you imagine? No scientist can create a child in his lab. And he doesn't know how it is happening. We are creating hair. At one time I was always wanting the hair should be as it is. Whenever I used to have a good haircut, go to the barber shop and he would cut a trim and ऐसा ही रहना चाहिए, बढ़ना ही नहीं चाहिए बाल, परफेक्ट है अभी, क्यों बढ़ता है बाल? But sometimes he would do wrongly and said, जल्दी बढ़ना चाहिए बाल, to cover up. After joining the ashram, I'm thinking, why does it grow? बार बार शेव करना पड़ता है. But it grows at its own speed. You're not creating something. So, Brahmaji himself is telling, similarly, each one of us, to some extent or the other, are the cause of many things, the source of many things, and also controlling so many things. But we don't even know who is the cause of all causes. And the other illusion is to think that Supreme Lord, the cause of all causes, when He descends to be an ordinary person. Can you imagine? I'm amazed. Sometimes people ask me, तुम्हारे भगवान ने ऐसा क्यों किया? तुम्हारे भगवान ने गोपियों के साथ क्यों नाचा? तुम्हारे भगवान ने झूठ बोलने को क्यों बोला युधिष्ठिर को? अच्छा, मेरे भगवान के बारे में कहाँ से पढ़ा आपने? नहीं, मैंने सुना है. बोले पूरा पढ़ना उसको. जहां से भी तू पढ़ रहा है तो पूरा पढ़ कम से कम. It's amazing. People quote selective verses from the Bhagavatam or the Mahabharata, but if actually they read it under proper direction or read it with an open mind and a heart, while Krishna's inconceivable activities are also described there, there are so many activities which are miraculous, but that selectively they ignore. Like bats at daytime. They just blind. This is Maya. When that Krishna, Bhisma, a Mahajan, tells foolish Duryodhan, he said, you don't understand? In the Rajasuya Yajna, he glorifies this person who is standing. This Krishna, don't think him to be an ordinary person. He is the source of all the avatars. When Krishna performs inconceivable miracles, they kind of reduce it and say, oh, ठीक है, साड़ी भेजा होगा कहीं से बस. तो कितने लोग तो साड़ी भेजते हैं ऐसा ऊपर. What a miracle! When Draupadi was completely surrendered, how much inconceivable the sari was coming. Or so many places where Krishna performed unimaginable miracles, effortlessly, naturally. It's amazing how people are blind to that. And even a little apparently looking some mistake. Oh, how does he do this? If you are reading, if you know about Krishna, where is that about Krishna? It's in the scriptures. So if you're reading the scriptures, read the whole thing, accept the whole, two sides of the coin. Why only accept one side? Then you will realize how he can do it, who he is. It's interesting. Here in India, there are people who are actually convinced that Krishna actually is just a mythological figure. He didn't exist. He actually didn't exist. Just like, Spider-Man, He-Man, this man and that man. Vyasdev created cause of all causes man. That's all. उसको कृष्ण बोलो, राम बोलो, कुछ भी बोलो. They're convinced. Some people say, no, ऐसा मत बोलो. He was a historical figure. He was a powerful warrior. He was an astute politician. अरे वाह, राजनीति क्या किया उन्होंने. Tremendous statesman. He knew how to do things. Powerful warrior too. Social reformer, huh? Social reformer. He did so much for the women. Those who were captured, 16,100, he gave them the status of being his queens. Gave them that, uplifted them. So social reformer. Some people say, नहीं, वो तो था ही, इतना भी नहीं, उससे भी ज़्यादा था. अच्छा, he was one of the best of the prophets. What a saintly person. What a visionary. गीता बोला देखो, गीता आज तक चल रहा है उसका गीता. Big scientists, philosophers gave their philosophy. After a century it is finished. New philosophy comes or a new theory comes. But this is something that has stood the test of time. Not one statement has been proved false from the Gita. So people say, oh, he was a great visionary, great seer. Some people say, नहीं, दिव्य पुरुष थे वो, युग पुरुष थे वो. He is actually निर्गुण, निराकार, निर्विशेष, सर्वव्यापी ब्रह्म. जब सगुण साकार बनकर आते हैं तो कृष्ण राम कहलाते हैं. They promote him to निर्गुण, निराकार, सर्वव्यापी ब्रह्म. But Krishna says in the Gita, Brahmano hi pratisthaham. I am the source. If the The Brahman is the effulgence. I am the source of it, like the sun. The sunlight, yes, is the sun. But still, that's not the sun. It's the energy of the sun. Some people say, no, no, no. Of the innumerable avatars of Vishnu, Krishna is also one of the Dashavatar. Only those who actually take the trouble to read all the compositions of Vyasadeva, another empowered personality of Godhead, to present things as it is, especially the Bhagavatam, realize ete chamsha kalapamsa krishnastu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakulam lokam radayanti yuge yuge. All the millions of incarnations are actually expansion of Krishna. He is the source of all these incarnations. Avatari, all there are avatars, but he is the avatari, sambhavami yuge yuge. I descend to attract the heart of living entities by my... So there are two aspects of Krishna. One is the opulence, the Aishwarya. If you hear, you actually are so humbled. The more you hear the glory of Krishna, you become so humbled. Therefore you say, Dur se pranam. But the other aspect of Krishna, so sweet, so accessible, so loving, so personal. Everyone feels, my Krishna. तेरा नहीं मेरा. उसको लगता है वही मैं भी सोच रहा था, only मेरा. क्या reciprocate करता मेरे साथ. He's so personal, he's so accessible. This is an amazing contradiction. Generally, great people, you inspire awe. That's all. There is no. But that same personality becomes so personal and accessible and reciprocating one to one, as if you are all in all. तेरे बिना और कुछ नहीं है. कृष्णा सब तेरा, या तू भी मेरा. And actually, it's a fact. Krishna doesn't lie. Krishna told Sudama, how can I ever forget you? I'm so grateful for what you did. Remember, we went there. Sudama felt Krishna only loves me. How great he is, but I don't know. He loves only me. Every gopi felt Krishna is only with me. Poor other gopis. Akele akele naach rahe. Only Krishna is dancing with me. And they are pitifully looking at others. And all others are looking pitifully at them. And everyone thought Krishna is dancing only with them. When he was with the cowherd boys, millions of cowherd boys, sitting all around, like a whirl of the lotus, and everyone is sitting round like this, extending, 8 and then 16 and then 32 and 64 and 128, round, everyone. And while the cowherd boys were eating, every cowherd boy felt Krishna is only looking at me, poor neighbor. Krishna is only... And everyone thought Krishna is constantly looking at me. Can any one of us do this? Imagine somebody sitting behind me, taking a stick to beat me. How would I know? मैं तो प्रवचन देते जा रहा हूँ बस. I have no idea what's happening behind me. But Krishna can do this. So that's his opulence. But simultaneously, it is so sweet. It's so personal. Who can understand this? Actually, it's there. It's there in the scriptures. All his pastimes are revealing this again and again. How are they not able to see this? Uddhav explains to Vidura in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Same, in the future. He says, Only a person who has fully surrendered to the Lord can easily understand this and cannot be bewildered by the words of great philosophers, scientists, and whatever you call them, who speak about the supreme absolute truth in so many ways. Nobody can ever touch or affect the consciousness of someone who is completely surrendered. He can see Krishna as he is. Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Those who are completely surrendered souls can see Krishna very clearly, who he is, for what he is. So now the question is, where is our position? Na ghar ke na ghat ke. We are not easily influenced. तो कुछ भी बोला है, कुछ ऐसा नहीं है, मैं भागवतम में सुना हूँ, मैं पढ़ा हूँ, वैसे भी बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूट मैराथन है, ले भागवतम पढ़, गीता पढ़ तू, ऐसा नहीं है. But if they challenge us, we are not able to kind of, clarify or convince them. And sometimes if they are very strong in argument, we get bewildered. सही में क्या? ठीक है मैं बाद में पता करता हूँ, बाद में बताता हूँ. Then you come back and do some homework. Neither are we fully convinced, nor are we fully accepting anything and everything. We are in the process of that surrendering process. That's bhakti. And the beginning of bhakti is Shraddha. Adau Shraddha. Faith. Without faith, you can't traverse this path. Ashraddhadhanaha purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. There are two paths. One is the path of going down and going in the cycle of birth and death. Another path is getting out of this conditioned brain. So one is called mrityu samsara vartmani. And who does go down into this mundane, materialistic thought process of seeing Krishna as ordinary person or ordinary person as God? Those ashraddhadhanaha, who have no faith in the scriptures, in the words of the Lord. Ashraddhadhana. But there is another path which takes you up, apavarga vartmani. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha tajjoshanad ashu apavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhakti anukramishati. So there are two paths. Mrityu samsara vartmani and apavarga vartmani. Apavarga means going back to the higher realm of existence. Pavarga. The material world is called pavarga. Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. A lot of paricharam, lot of pain and struggle and bandhan, you get caught up. There is bhaya, there is always fear, and mrityu. That's pavarga. And apavarga means to go to the spiritual realm. And the cause is Shraddha. Okay, what is this Shraddha? First of all, believing that God exists. Number one, not being an atheist, but being a theist. That yes, God exists. And then through understanding the science of God and practicing those process to realize God. And realize what? The inconceivable power of God. Inconceivable. Means you can never understand. The day you understand that you can never understand God, you are beginning to understand. The day you understand that you cannot understand, you are beginning to understand the potency of the Lord. This is what Brahma said when he tried to test Krishna. And realized, Janantu eva janantu. People may say, I know Krishna, I know Krishna. वही ना मुरली बनाने वाला. वही मालूम है. 96 किलोमीटर साउथ ईस्ट ऑफ दिल्ली ना, वृंदावन, वो गांव में आया था 5,000 साल पहले. आई नो कृष्णा. यू ट्राई टू गिव गीता, वो मालूम है गीता, वही ना कृष्ण ने बोला ना. एटलीस्ट इतना तो मालूम है किसने बोला गीता. मेरे को लगा बगल घर वाली गीता. So good, at least they know that much. So, unfortunately, there's this faith in the process, take it forward. I would like to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita a very sweet story. Believe me, the first time I heard it, it was in 1989. I heard one sannyasi telling it to a child. बेटा आपका नाम क्या है? यांश. थोड़ा खड़े हो जाओगे? कितने उम्र के हो आप? 9. बैठ जाओ. So it was like that, 7 or 8-year-old boy, 2 children, one girl and one boy, brother, sister. And I had accompanied this sannyasi for lunch in their home, one grahastha's home. And I had joined just 3-4 days back. And I hadn't read too much of philosophy. But convinced तो हो गया था, more or less. सब कर रहे तो अच्छा होगा यार. And I kind of jumped into it, and I was a brahmachari, and I accompanied. और खाने के लिए तो अच्छा है ना. So I accompanied. And this sannyasi was telling that children a story. And पहली बार मैं सुना, बोले अच्छा लगा मेरे को, but when it came to a particular section, I'll read it out and tell you where. I said, बाप रे कितना बंडल मार रही है. ओ महाराज, ठीक है स्टोरी बोलो, ये अति हो रहा है. बच्चे बोल के आप उसको घुमाते जा रहे हो. क्या बोलते हैं, बंडल मारते हैं. लपेट मतलब लपेटने का भी हद होता है यार, ये ऐसे लपेट रहे हो. I'll tell you that same story. But today when I read it, I said, wow, Krishna, only you can do this. So please listen to this very sweet story. I'll quickly read this. Just about 30 verses. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Here, and who is saying these verses, Who is telling this story? This is told by Lord Chaitanya personally to Sanatana Goswami. Our Sambandha Acharya, Sanatana Goswami. And who is speaking? The Supreme Lord, Krishna, in the mood of a devotee, Srimati Radharani. And when Krishna speaks to Sanatana Goswami, it's not time pass. It is a pastime. All right. So, this is where he is. Oh, there he is. I'm also getting bewildered where the verses are. He's telling Sanatana Goswami was a great scholar. And he's telling there are, in the whole creation, spiritual and material, Tripada Vibhuti is the spiritual world, 3/4. And 1/4 is the material world. And that material world consists of billions of universes. Even one universe we don't know. So he's telling, Tripada Vibhutira Kshetra Vakya Krishnera Vakya Agochar Ekapada Vibhutira Shunaha Vistar. Forget about Tripada Vibhuti, that's too much. That's spiritual realm. I will tell you about the 1/4 tiny insignificant portion of the material creation. Please listen to this. Ananta Brahmandera Yata Brahma Rudragan Chiraloka Pala Shabde Tahara Ganan. Ananta Brahmanda Jata Brahma Rudragan. There are millions of universes. And each universe has its own Brahma and its own Shiva, its own Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Surya and all the Devatas. Every universe. And Chiralokapala, especially Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, etc., are called Chiralokapala. Chira means long. As long as the universe exists, these personalities exist. Other people come and go. Even Indra Chandra come and go every Manvantara. But only these personalities, they are called Chiralokapala. Just like you have Rajyapal, governor. He's fortunate for 5 years. But here it is Chiralokapala, as long as the universe exists. And then he begins a story. Ekadina Dwarakate Krishna dekhibare Brahma aila Dwarapala jana ila Krishnere. One day, Brahma came to visit Krishna at Dwarka. So, as soon as Brahma came, the Dwarpal stopped him. Can you imagine? Becoming the servant of a big man is not joke. He is just a doorkeeper, and he said, "Shh, Haribol, line में खड़े हो, line में चतुर्मुख हो, कोई इतने मुख हो, खड़े हो, line में खड़े रहो." Sometimes who do this crowd control, they have to be a little careful who is coming. You know, but Krishna's Dwarpal can afford to do it. He did that. Dwarpala Janaira Krishnere. He went and said, somebody has come. अच्छा क्या बोलता है? बोलता है वो ब्रह्मा कोई आया. अच्छा कृष्ण कहे न कौन ब्रह्मा की नाम तहार द्वारियासी ब्रह्मारे पूछे आर बार. कृष्ण से कौन बोला? नहीं, वो बोल रहा है ब्रह्मा. ब्रह्मा? कौन सा ब्रह्मा? कौन सा नाम क्या है? पूछो उसको नाम, कौन सा नाम है उसका? Brahma ji is a post. Just like Surya is a post. Today it is being occupied by Vivaswan. Prime Minister is a post. Now it is occupied by someone. So Brahma is a post. तो बोला कौन सा ब्रह्मा आया? नाम पूछो उसका. And द्वारपाल आया. अरे बोल नाम आई कार्ड है क्या तुम्हारा? कृष्ण कहे ना कौन ब्रह्मा की नाम तहार. बोले नाम पूछना. ब्रह्मा बहुत सारे ब्रह्मा है, कौन सा पूछ. द्वारे आसी ब्रह्मा रे पूछे की बोले हु आर यू. विस्मित होइयो ब्रह्मा द्वारी के कहिला कहो गया सनक पिता चतुर्मुख आइला. So he said, अरे बोल आई कार्ड. बोले आई कार्ड सुन ले. सनक का पिता, चतुष कुमार का पिता, चतुर्मुख वाला ब्रह्मा. जाके बोल. So he came. कृष्णे जानाइया द्वारी ब्रह्मा ते लैया गेला कृष्णेर चरणे ब्रह्मा दंडवत कोइला. So Krishna said, oh, father of Sanaka, चतुर्मुख. अच्छा तो मुख के ऊपर थोड़ा गर्व है प्रभु जी को कि 4 है मेरे पास, किसी के पास 1-2 है बस. तो एक ही है एक्चुअली, वो भी आधा है, वो कम कुछ होता ही नहीं अंदर. तो बोले चतुर्मुख ब्रह्मा है. ठीक है, he said, all right, call him. So Lord Brahma came and fell flat at the feet of Krishna. कृष्ण मान्य पूजा करी ताहे प्रश्न गईला की लागी तुम्हार इहाँ आगमन होइला. So he offered his respects and Krishna accepted it. He also offered his respect. Said, Brahma ji, Hare Krishna. Krishna is telling Hare Krishna. And he said, all right, यहाँ कैसे आना हुआ? How come you have visited Dwarka? ब्रह्मा कहे ताहा पाछे करिब निवेदन एक संशय मने होय करहो छेदन. I had come for some purpose that I'll tell you later. Now I have a bigger doubt. I want to ask you one doubt. एक संशय मने होय करहो छेदन. You please remove this one doubt I have. Now it has aroused, and that's, haunting me much more than what issue I came. And then he said, all right, ask me. कोनो ब्रह्मा पूछिले तुमी कोनो अभिप्राय आमा भाई जगते आर कोनो ब्रह्मा है. Did you say that which Brahma? प्रधानमंत्री तो एक ही महाराज, और कोई प्रधान है क्या? डबल प्रधान वाला कोई है क्या? बोले with what intention did you ask which Brahma? Ask his name. Is there any other Brahma? I just want to clarify. किसी को अपॉइंट किया है क्या मेरे? मैं घूम फिर रहा हूं तो there is a coup and some other Brahma has taken over. I know only one. That's me. सुनी हासी कृष्ण तवे कोरिले ना ध्याने असंख्य ब्रह्मार गण आइला तत्क्षणे. Krishna smiled. I said, oh, and Krishna just closed his eyes. He sent mental invitations. And unlimited Brahmas came there. Unlimited Brahmas. Millions of Brahmas came there. Don't ask me how they were accommodated in the same hall. This is where I felt a bandalbaji ho rahi. But it says, this is only beginning. Wait for more. Okay, then Dasha, Bisha, Sata, Sahasra, Ayuta, Lakshavadan, Koti, Arbuda, Mukhakara, Naya, E Ganan. This is the height. These Brahmas had different numbers of heads. Some had 10 heads, some 20, some 100, some 1,000, some 10,000, some 100,000, some 10 million, and others 100 million. No one can count the number of faces they had. He bola, yaar, had ho gaya yaar. I didn't know this. I was telling him, Maharaj, ठीक है बच्चों को भी बोला हंसाना है थोड़ा एंटरटेन करना पर कहाँ तक जा रहे. But then I read this. First thing that came to my mind is how can one body balance so many heads? He'll be upside down with the feet on top. Head top, heavy head. But there is a picture of this. Because you can't even draw it in one small painting. And this is Supreme Lord Mahaprabhu saying, and to who? Sanatana Goswami. It has to be taken seriously. Until you have faith, ये बोलेगा, it's not possible. Rudragana aila laksha koti vadan, Indragana aila laksha koti nayan. There were Rudragana laksha koti vadan. Mahadev had Panchamukhi Mahadev. And Indra has 1,000 eyes, therefore he is called Sahasravadan. But here there was Rudragana Aila Laksha Koti Vadan. They had millions of faces. And Indragana Aila Laksha Koti Nayan. They had millions of eyes all over their body. From different planets. He was talking Sanak, father of the 4 Kumaras and 4 head. So he was considering these 2 things as his identity. And exactly to smash that identity, Krishna invited all these Brahmas from various other universes. Dekhi chaturmukha Brahma phafara hoila, hastigana madhye jena shashaka rahila. Our Brahma, who is only 4-headed. Sometimes in the drama, they had to wear that 4-headed, fellow turns and you can easily know which is the original. Because all ones are just, that's it. Can you imagine this? All these millions. And our Brahma felt, he's like a small rabbit amidst these powerful elephants. थोड़ा इधर उधर हो गया तो सर गिर गया तो खत्म ही हो जाएगा. He felt so insignificant. आर सब ब्रह्मा कृष्ण पाद पीठ आगे दंडवत करिते मुकुट पाद पीठे लागे. Can you imagine? All the Brahmas offered their respects. All these helmets were hitting the head. Millions of mukuts. Surprisingly, all the heads were touching. Don't ask me how. If you touch this, then the back cannot be. All the 4 heads. Millions of heads. All the heads were offering respects, touching the ground together. It was as if all the mukuts together were glorifying Krishna. It was so sweet sound. And no wonder, he was like shocked, our Brahma. And then it says, Krishnera achintya shakti lakhite kehonare yata brahma tata murti ekai sharire. This is the matlab had ho gaya hai. No one can estimate the inconceivable potency of Krishna. All the Brahmas who were there were resting in the one body of Krishna. All these millions of Brahmas with billions of heads. Our Brahma has only 4 heads because it is 4 billion miles diameter. So you can imagine how big are the other universes. Padapitha mukutera sanghate uthe dhoni. Padapithe stuti kare mukuta he na jani. It was as if all the mukuts were glorifying Krishna independently. Joda haste brahma rudradi karaye stavan. Bada kripa koila prabhu dekhaila charan. And all the Brahmas were praying with folded arms, and the Shivas and all the Kumaras were folding and saying, thank you so much, Lord, that you invited us and you wanted to see us. Thank you so much for showing your lotus feet to us. Bhagya more bolaila dasa angikari, kona agya hoye taha kari shire dhari. We are so fortunate that you called us, meaning the Shiva and all this universe. You called us. Please, please tell us, we are your servants. Simply instruct us. Your wish is our command. Please tell us why you have called us. Krishna kohe tuma sava dekhite chitta hoila, taha lagi ek thai sab bulaila. नहीं कुछ नहीं, बस ऐसे ही लगा, बहुत दिन हो गया देख के आपको, याद किया बस, हरि बोल, बस बस सुखी हाओ सबे किछु नाही दैत्य भय, तारे कहे तुम्हारे प्रसादे सर्वत्र ही जय. सब खुश तो हो ना, कोई टेंशन वेंशन तो नहीं है, कोई असुर तो नहीं है. प्रभु आपकी कृपा से सब ठीक ठाक चल रहा है. आपके सिर्फ दृष्टिपात से कौन असुर क्या कर सकता है, किसकी हिम्मत, सब हम सुखी है. संप्रति पृथ्वी तेजेबा होइया छ भार, अवतीर्ण होइया ताहा करिला संहार. We know, my Lord, that whenever there is any issue, we just think about you, we pray to you, and instantly you come, do thorough maha cleaning and go back. Leave no one, no asuras alive. Cleansing, and then you go back. Dwarakadi vibhutar eito praman, amare Brahma Krishna saha hoila gyan. The amazing part, this is another amazing part. Except our Brahma, no other Brahma could see the other Brahmas. So each Brahma was thinking, in our universe, Lord has called us in Dwarka. None of the Brahmas were thinking that they have come to somebody else's universe. And none of them were able to see the other Brahmas. Only our Brahma could see everyone, because there was a point to be made. Krishna sava Dwarka vaibhav anubhava hoila, ekatra milane keho kaho na dekhila. But everyone experienced the opulence and the glory of Dwarka city. How fortunate we are that we are in this country where Dwarka exists. Even today, even though Dwarka, that dham, to some extent may be invisible, practically, but this is still existing because these dhams are eternal. First time these Brahmas realized the glory of this Dwarka city. Because no one can come, even Mahavishnu cannot come to Dwarka without the blessing of the Lord, without the permission of the Lord, without the Lord allowing them. And then, Tabe Krishna Sarva Brahma Gane Viday Dila, Dandavata Hoya Sabe Nija Ghare Gela. Politically, I am very, very happy. Hari Bol. And all the Brahmas offered their respects and they went back to their respective abodes. देखी चतुर्मुख ब्रह्मार होइला चमत्कार, कृष्णेर चरणे आसी कोइला नमस्कार. As soon as this Chaturmukha Brahma saw all of this departing, he simply became amazed. ब्रह्मा बोले पूर्वे आमी जे निश्चय कइलू तार उद्धारण आमी আজি তো দেখিলু. Brahma said, whatever I formerly decided about my knowledge, I have just now personally verified. You know what is he mentioning? In Vrindavan, when he came to test Krishna, at that time he had realized this. And he had made one statement. What was that? Jananta eva janantu kim bahuktyana me prabho manaso vapusho vacho vaibhavam tava gochara. There are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think in that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. O my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are beyond the reach of my mind, my body, and my words. It's inconceivable to the body, to the mind, and my words. That means we can never sufficiently glorify and describe Krishna. We are like birds. Krishna's glory is like the sky. We can flow according to our capacity, that's all. And this is what Brahma's realization was. Krishna kahe ei brahmanda panchashati koti yojan ati kshudra tate tomar chari vadan. Krishna said, your particular universe has a diameter of 4 billion miles. Therefore, it is the smallest of all universes. Our universe, the end of which we don't know, is the smallest one. Consequently, you have only 4 heads, because 4 billion diameter. Kona brahmanda shata koti, kona laksha koti, kona niyuta koti, kona koti koti. समझ में आया कुछ? नहीं आया, मुझे भी नहीं आया, चिंता मत करो. Some of the universes are 1 billion yojanas in diameter, some 1 trillion, some 10 trillion, and some 100 trillion yojanas. Thus, they are almost unlimited in area. Brahmandadi pura brahmar shariravadan ei rupe paliyami brahmande ragan. According to the size of the universe, there are so many heads on the body of Brahma. In this way, I maintain innumerable universes. Ekapada vibhuti ihar nahi pariman, tripada vibhutir keba kare pariman. And I am talking this about this 1/4 of the creation, dear Sanatan. What to speak of the 3/4? Lord is telling Brahma. Tabe Krishna Brahmare dilena viday, Krishnera vibhuti swarupa janaya na jai. And Brahma realized that day, he said, no one can. Brahma's body is made of intelligence. And he is telling, by my mind, by my words, and my body, I can never measure the glories of Krishna, the opulences of Krishna. Of the 1/4 creation, what to speak of the 3/4? So in this way, this beautiful pastime, my conclusion, after I read this, after a few years I read this, and then I said, "Arey Maharaj ne jhoot nahi bola tha, sahi bola tha." So the point is, why Shraddha is needed? Because through our logical intelligence, when we try to measure anything about creation of Krishna, it's inconceivable. Achintya Shakti. Natams tarkena yojet. And the whole purpose of scriptures, especially the Upanishads, which is proudly read by intellectuals. हम लोग ज्ञान योगी है, तुम लोग भक्ति वाले, हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल. हम लोग ज्ञान योगी. We technically analyze. And the The Upanishads are meant to break that rational thought process. Tad ejati, tad naijati, tad dure e tadvantike, tadantarasya sarvasya, tadu sarvasya sebhahyatah. I run, but I don't run. I stand in the same place, but I run farther than the farthest. I'm the fastest of all. Tadure, I'm the farther than the farthest from you. And I am the most nearest person to you. Tadantarasya, I am inside of everyone, but I am outside of everything. कोई एक चीज बोलो महाराज, अंदर हो या बाहर? इतो नरसिंह, परतो नरसिंह, यतो यतो यामे ततो नरसिंह, बाह्य नरसिंह, हृदय नरसिंह. So difficult to conceive. The moment we realize we cannot actually understand, we begin to understand the glories of Krishna. And therefore here Lord Brahma is very humbly saying, it's like some tiny insect glorifying a glowworm. You are lighting the whole universe. Hey, chup rahe yaar. चापलूसी मत कर. क्या चाहिए बोल तेरे को बस. Don't unnecessarily trying to glorify. You know what the noonday sun is. So in this way, Lord Brahma is so beautifully expressing humbly, because he knows things as they are. Why? Because he is completely surrendered to the Lord, and therefore no one's glorification can ever get into his head, even though he's supremely powerful in the whole universe. But that's insignificant because he knows the glory of Krishna. Two truths if we know, the truth about Krishna and the truth about the soul. To know Krishna tattvataha and to know Jiva tattvataha, one will never become proud. Absolutely. If you really know Krishna tattvataha, if you really knew Krishna in truth, in essence, how can anyone be ever proud? Because whatever we have, the strength is coming from Krishna. Intelligence, buddhir buddhimatam asmi, tejas tejasvinamaham, balam balavatam chaham. It's all his borrowed property. And when we know Jiva tattvataha, 1/10,000 a tip of hair, and you want to be proud of what? So that's why Lord Brahma is so humbly revealing the glories of the Lord and the insignificance of every jiva. Practical application of this. What does it really mean? Because Krishna is so inconceivable, he has descended in the form of his name. Kali kale nama rupe Krishna avatar. Nama hoite hoy sarva jagat anistar. Because in Kali Yuga, people don't have that intelligence or the inclination to understand Krishna. Very mercifully, Krishna has descended in the form of his name. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shakti. Simply by surrendering to that name. Tranadapi sunichena taroriva saishnana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Such a person can also acquire this consciousness and thus perfect one's life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, for a very nice, enlightening class. So I would like to make a few announcements, especially about our book distribution marathon. As you all know, this is the December month, the Gita Jayanti month, and we are in the exact middle of the book distribution marathon. So so far, the book go down has given me the information. So far, more than 80,000 Mahabig books have gone out of the temple. And our target is how much? 2 lakhs. That's the number we have submitted. But so, how does 80,000? Many satellite centers from Nanded, from Latur, Aurangabad, and all other centers have taken good number of books. And our devotees in Bombay also are distributing very nicely. We have permissions for railway stations along the Western Railway. Except Churchgate, we have permissions for Grand Road, Mumbai Central, Prabhadevi, Dadar, until Bhayandar. So, if anyone wants to distribute books, please go to any of the stations. And there are devotees already putting up stalls in the evening. And you can stand there. They arrange everything, book stalls and nice prasadam also. If you can join and participate in that marathon, please join. And the local train stations are the best places for distributing. So much crowd, so much very interested people. You get there, they are eager to purchase the books, they are eager to come to the temple, eager to enroll for the Gita courses. So that's a very, very nice place to distribute. Then we have our bus parties from the temple. 2 bus parties have gone. One is in Nanded, one is in Chiplun, 2 places in Maharashtra. And in Nanded, they are doing Gita Champions League for students. They are trying to distribute about 10,000 books in Nanded alone through these school competitions for children. We have this Tulabhar behind. If anyone wants to weigh yourself and according to your weight, you want to give books on donation, that facility is available. You can directly donate books for distribution at the book go down. 100 books, 500 books, 1,000 books. Many people have already donated. We have so far received Gita Dan for 11,000 books. Tulabhar we have got for more than 1,000 books. Gita recitation team has collected donations for 2,500 books. So in this way, especially the railway stations are very active. So many IVS devotees, congregation devotees, they are actively doing it. Whether you sell the book or not, that's not so important, but at least we are making the propaganda. The Gita month is going on. Please accept this message. Please share this message. So this is the middle of the week, middle of the month. 2 more weeks to go. Until January 1st week, we will continue this. So please try your best, participate in this marathon, and let us allow this message of Prabhupada, message of Krishna to reach to as many people as possible. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please put on a lot of weight this month. Actually, in December you can put on weight, it's good. And at the end of the month you can come and do Tulabhari. Srila Prabhupada Book Distribution Marathon ki Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki Nithai Gaur Premanandi.